TikTok. How we doing? Let's get it going. All right. What's up, TikTok? Let's get right into it. What's going on? What's going on? What is good, everybody? Welcome back. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good night. The actual world remains on literal fire. Took a little bit of a break, had to regroup. Felt like my violin needed a little bit of tuning as the Titanic crashed directly into the literal berg. So that was cool. Just had to tune up the old violin while we crash and literally sink into the actual ocean. There was plenty of room on that door. Jack could have lived, perhaps, if she was 25 years old. You guys know what that means. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Coming in hot with a Leonardo DiCaprio joke. Thanks for being here. This is episode 10 of the Bobby Sauce Show. It is entitled, Can You See the Dumpster for the Trash? Which is a play on words for Can You See the Forest for the Trees? Because as you gaze out into the endless abyss of hot trash that is our actual literal world right now, sometimes I wonder if people just don't see a blurry garbage pile, if they can actually see the dumpster beyond. Everything is dumb. The world is on fire. Nobody pays attention to anything. Everything's stupid. Thanks for coming in. I don't even know where to start. I have a bunch of different topics that I wanted to crank into your brown eye real quick. So grab your ankles, everybody, because we're about to pop in there like a torpedo into your brown eye when they're testing for the Gina flu. Kind of like they did back in the day. They were like, every U.S. ambassador in Gine needs to get a Fauci torpedo directly into their brown eye, so that we can see whether or not they have the spicy clap. So that's cool. Everything is dumb. So that's great. Also, so I wanted to talk about a couple things. So let me crank your bag. First and foremost, please remember to like, share, and follow the show. Go to bobbysauceshow.com. After the show is done, leave a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of the places. Make sure that you go to bobbysauce.com and support the channel if you wouldn't mind. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/takenaps. Follow me on Instagram @takenaps and follow all of my socials at followbobby.com. And let's get right into it. Hope you got those ankles grabbed firmly and you have a good foundation, because a torpedo is coming for your dirt star. I'm going to talk about a few different things. I'm going to talk about the By Large Mansions documentary that Candace Owens and Daily Wire put out yesterday, which is fantastic. I'm going to talk about my trip to the autonomous zone, the autonomous free state of Floyd, Fenty Beauty. We're going to talk about an event that I just did in Minneapolis, Minnesota with Turning Point. We're going to talk about Alex Jones. We're going to talk about Faisal. We're going to talk about Steel Fetterbean, who, let me remind you, is a human person made of purely steel and Carhartt material. We're going to talk about the California pay gap law. We're going to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, and we're going to talk about Krusty, the literal clown that is supposedly the vice president of these United States. Everything's dumb. Thanks for being here. So first I went, oh yeah, and for anybody that can see, I am wearing an It's Ma'am shirt. This is an It's Ma'am shirt available on bobbysauce.com. It is ma'am. I'm not going to be misgendered. It is ma'am. Man, give me the number of your manager immediately. I want the number for corporate. I want the number for corporate. It is ma'am. It is ma'am. If you know, you know. She has a her has a rap single brought to my attention by Anomaly at Dream Rare. Her rap album is called, or her rap name is Serotonin, Saraton, probably because she has low serotonin, but serotonin nonetheless. It is ma'am. Everybody at the airport was like, what does that mean? Except for the 3 people that were like, yes, it is ma'am. Okay. Yo, I hate everything. So this past weekend, I went to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to the University of Minnesota to go on campus and speak at a Turning Point USA chapter meeting. I spoke with Anthony Watson, who is a Turning Point contributor, as well as Ariana Dewing, who is a ballerina who got canceled in woke California for being cool and thinking about her own health and taking her own life into her hands. You know what I mean? Dangerous as it was, as it were. People were saying that she was all types of really bad things. So we all talked about a couple different things. I specifically talked about how to be financially free, and I learned up a couple of college students on how to save money, make more money, earn more money, how to think about money, and how to understand that money is an instrument of freedom. People on TikTok are already hating, so welcome. User account 417654. Who hurt you? Ma, the meatloaf. Literally, Ma, the meatloaf is ready. Thanks for being here, TikTok. You're the back alley garbage dump of the literal internet. You are the literal alleyway behind the middle school full of literal trash. Your mom's calling. The meatloaf is ready. Thanks for being here, TikTok. Whom hurt you? Literally, whom literally hurt you? Thanks for coming in hot with the comments. Please triple tap for the hearts. Send me a sunglasses. Put a cowboy hat on my head. Thanks for being here. Click the X. You're sat inside. Anyhow. So I was out there, spoke to some awesome kids. Always gives me a lot of, always rejuvenates me to see people in the Turning Point USA ecosystem. I know a lot of people have been talking smack about Turning Point lately. I see all these videos, especially people that have gotten kicked out of the program for one thing or the other. And I'm not saying that it's good or bad that they got kicked out, but they love going in and trashing the organization that they used to think was so awesome. So, you know, whatever, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's the name of the game. But I do wish that people would realize that you're going against your own team. And even though you may be sour that you're no longer a part of this particular organization for one reason or the other, that organization has the right to remove people that they feel are not aligning with them, whether you agree with it or not. So you going and then disparaging the organization that you once were a part of, that you once willingly were a part of and attended the events and probably liked, otherwise you wouldn't have gone. For you to go and make all these hate-filled videos about how they're not doing anything or they're not part of the culture or they're actually not doing anything is counterproductive to the cause, and I wish you guys wouldn't do that. But whatever, do whatever you want. I just don't really think that that's the vibe, but hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Anybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, or Twitch, you'll notice that I put a little plant right here. You could see the plug, so I bought this plant. So you're welcome. We're here in nature. We're out here in nature. Everything is dumb. The world's on fire. So I went to Minneapolis, and, you know, the nice gentleman named Charbel that picked us up and brought us over to the campus, we asked him if he could show us a couple of places where the community was considered, you know, where buildings burned down because everything's dumb. And he literally drove us directly to Cup Foods, a.k.a. the Free State of G. Floyd. And wow, what a sight it was. We were there for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to briefly recap the experience for anybody that's never been there because it is freaking peculiar. It's not really necessarily near downtown Minneapolis. It's about 10 or 15 minutes out of town. As you start going into this area, you can tell that it's a little bit dicey, a little bit on the not as ideal side, a place you would not really want to be walking at night. And then when you get into the Free State of G. Floyd, it really gets bad. As soon as we pulled up, we literally pulled off onto the side of the road and immediately felt uncomfortable. It was like, wow, there's definitely not any cops in here. There hasn't been any cops around here at all. There's disparaging remarks spray painted about cops on buildings, on on boarded up businesses on the sidewalk. There's swear words everywhere. All of the houses in the area are basically in disrepair. They all look like trap houses. Every house that's visible from the autonomous state of G Floyd it looks like a trap house. And invariably, what we learned 10 minutes after being there is that they are all trap houses. Any business in that area, with the exception of Cup Foods, which is probably staying alive because it's a convenience store and it's basically world famous now, all the businesses are closed. All the businesses are boarded up, and every single house looks extremely sketchy. People driving by and beat up cars, bumping crazy music, look like they just hit somebody with the car, bumper hanging off, back taillight taped on, sketch magetch. People just standing on the side of the road for absolutely no reason at 4:30 in the afternoon, really no reason for them to be there. People just holding down the block, as it were. It is a non-police zone. It is an autonomous zone, and it is basically a place where crime is able to run free. As soon as we pulled off to the side of the road, you could see that there was like a trap house right up on the corner, a bunch of dudes just kind of hanging out front. It looked like they were playing cards, rolling dice, like literally in the front yard, people coming and going, which is always a good sign. As soon as we pulled up, dude is like this, peering from behind a tree at us. Like just like that. We pull up, literally just pulled up behind the tree, like it was something out of like a Chappelle stand-up set. So the guy's like peering out of the woods, and you're like, that's not good. That's not what you would do in on a normal residential block. It's like person pulls up in a city. It's like looking at us like an owl, like the owl popping out of the tree, wondering if it has to fly away. As soon as we got there, car pulls up on the side of the road. Guy on a second-story window. Wow. I just got kicked off live on TikTok for for harassment, which is stupid. Everybody is so sad on TikTok. So sad. All right, so I'm not streaming live on TikTok anymore. Hope you guys got your way, sad boys. But anyhow, so a guy pulls up, jumps out of his car. Person opens up the second story window about 2 inches, drops a bag out the window. Guy runs up, catches it, stuffs it in his hoodie, jumps in the car, and they peel out. So he was probably giving him granola or something. It's probably like a meal prep type situation or something like that. It's pretty funny how people on TikTok are so sad. Live access suspended. What a bunch of sad little boys with their meatloaf. Yeah, my account is at a high risk of being restricted due to multiple violations, so that's cool. Good job, TikTok. You're doing great. What about a sad world? So anyhow, back to the conversation. So G Floyd Square, total dumpster fire. We walk over to the actual memorial, whatever, where there's all this stuff sitting on the ground. There's like empty bottles of liquor poured out. There's all this spray paint everywhere. There's all this basically like garbage and stickers everywhere all over the ground, and like cement barriers that were put there by the city, blocking off this area. And it's just not good. It's a corner of a street. There's stuff everywhere. And then the gas station across the street from Cup Foods basically was taken over by vagrants. It's completely boarded up, spray painted. They spray painted and tagged the entire thing. And people basically took control of the gas station. There was a makeshift plywood shed. This woman comes up to us about 3 minutes after we got there and started soliciting us for donations. Hey, can you donate to the community? There's 2 homeless families living in that shed over there at the gas station. We're collecting donations for them. So if you could just send me a Venmo or a Cash App. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So that was awesome. So it was really nice meeting her. She was very nice. She seemed like a really nice person that was definitely collecting money for the community, as it were. But yeah, the place is in disrepair. It's disgusting. And it's the people of Minneapolis should be ashamed for themselves. And the city of Minneapolis should be ashamed that they're allowing this garbage to run rampant in their city. This is a major American city, and it's disgusting to the taxpayers, homeowners, and business owners in the area. And it's no way to run a city, nevertheless, the freest country the world has ever known. People should be ashamed and embarrassed for themselves. But whatever, of course they're not, because everything's stupid and nobody pays attention to anything. So that's cool. So yeah, we witnessed multiple drug deals, or at least what appeared to allegedly be multiple drug deals at this free state of G Floyd. People in the area had told us that cops won't even come there, fire department, ambulance will not even come there. So it's basically a free-for-all, so it's no surprise that people are just committing crimes and selling drugs and doing all types of terrible things there, so that's awesome. Meanwhile, while I'm on the subject of TickSnap, I've been getting warnings. I got a warning on a video that I posted 9 months ago on TikTok. It's got a warning, got taken down, 2 of them in the same day for absolutely no reason on videos that are 8 months old, no ability to appeal. They basically said my next violation, they're going to delete my TikTok. So it looks like the 100,000 people and the multiple million likes that I've accumulated on TikTok will soon be deleted. I just got appealed because obviously I said that the people on there were sad boys and that the meatloaf was ready. So obviously that hit him where it hurts. And obviously, before they went to go get the meatloaf from Ma, they decided to report my account. So I hope you guys feel better about yourselves in the game of life. You lose every time. So tickle me Elmo. I'll be back. I don't care. Best of luck to you and all of you sads. In other news, the By Large Mansions documentary came out yesterday from Candace Owens on the Daily Wire, and a tip of the cap to the Daily Wire for all the great work that they do. I do wish that their stuff wasn't hidden behind the paywall so that more people could see it, but a business is business, and that's how it has to go. I don't really think that the membership is all that expensive. So kudos to Daily Wire for creating such a great documentary, and kudos to Candace for pointing out what is obviously probably the largest financial scam to be played on the United States of America and really the world in recent history. Basically, in summary, the By Large Mansions organization collected nearly $90 million in donations in calendar year 2021. They invested $32 million of that money into the United States stock market. They purchased approximately, as far as I can remember, about $10 million of real estate, including mansions in Los Angeles, as well as a multi-million-dollar mansion in downtown Toronto, Canada. Not sure how either of those things help any people of color, but who cares about that? You know what I mean? Black square, equity flag in bio. Good thing that everybody is doing so great. Everybody's doing awesome. The world's great. I love how everybody's just dumb and not paying attention. So that's fun. It's really just a cool planet that we're living on, how everybody's just completely in literal outer space, caring about absolutely nothing but themselves and monetizing everything to the destruction of humanity and the world around them. I made a post earlier today about how all of these supposed business leaders, tech CEOs, and all the people that have hundreds of millions, tens of millions, millions of dollars are doing absolutely nothing to speak up for America, speak up for freedom. And all of your small independent creators that have everything to lose, including their social circle, their ability to access certain products, services, and businesses, are getting silenced, demonetized, deplatformed online, and getting financially and socially ruined by intent, getting silenced even though they didn't have much of a voice to begin with, yet they keep showing up, they keep posting, they keep sharing, they keep creating accounts, they keep organizing, they keep being active, and they keep participating in it. And I just want to say unequivocally, y'all are the real heroes. It's the small people that are standing up that are making the most difference. All of these feckless, amorphous, spineless, sad boy blobs that have the platform and have the ability to get the reach are doing absolutely nothing but cashing in, saving their own bank account, saving their own finances, saving their own career, so to speak, and just playing the game like a fiddle, collecting their nice good boy points while sitting on the fence and not saying anything to help protect the future of America. You're spineless, you're sad, you're cowards. I used to have reverence for these people because they sold out stages across the country, sold out albums, generated hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views a day on all of their social platforms, created all these relationships with celebrities and people in power across the entire world. Yet these exact same spineless goons don't even have the courage to risk even the slightest bit of their own income by speaking up about the country that's given them so much freedom and prosperity. But hey, who cares about that, guys? Leave it up to the little guy, you cowards. Really awesome. You love to see it. You really just love to see it, how everybody is just a total sad boy. And you got people like me who's sitting in his house and making videos, trying to wake people up and share the good word, going around to college campuses to try to educate the future leaders of America one by one, step by step, session by session, PowerPoint by PowerPoint, day by day, video by video, podcast by podcast, and writing by writing. being threatened by companies like TikTok and having my content being taken down, having people on Instagram report that my account is being unfollowed, and constantly every single day risking being canceled, censored, not able to do certain things. And then of course being ostracized from their social circles because people, instead of having a conversation with a person they know to be of great integrity, they just decide to delete you from their life and just disappear into the ether so they can collect their good boy points and stay out of it because I don't want to get involved because it's not fun. And they bury their head in the sand at the expense of everybody else. Every other creator on this platform and any of the platforms that you listen to, people will probably all tell you the same thing. They don't have to do this, but they want to do this. They believe in the country. They believe in people. And they have the real altruism that they care so much about the people and the children of today, tomorrow, and the future, and hopefully doing something to protect them by getting their voice out there and changing minds, because whether people want to acknowledge it or not, content distribution and the coercion of masses of people to participate in free independent thought day to day, month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year, lifetime to lifetime is what will ultimately and inevitably save the world and save humanity. It's people sharing and collaborating on the right ideas, talking about freedom, talking about America, standing up when they need to, and fighting on the digital battlefield of today, tomorrow, and the future. That is how the world is saved, in my humble opinion, and that is why I believe that what we are doing here, what you are doing, watching, listening, participating, sharing, and engaging with content like this is participating in, hopefully, the mind shift of humanity and getting people out of what I believe is a mass psychosis, a mass hypnosis, where people are willingly letting the elite powers that run the world completely steamroll them into non-existence. They're sacrificing their freedom. They're sacrificing their rights. They're sacrificing every single thing that's ever been done for them and what will no longer exist for future generations, because they want to collect good boy points and they want to make sure that they are able to travel, and they want to make sure that they don't lose any friends. I don't want to lose any friends. Yeah, good friends you got. A good friend is the type of friend that'll never engage on any post that you ever make, never buy a piece of merch, never participate in anything you have to say, not have a conversation with you even though they might disagree with you or maybe agree with you, but they don't know. They just quietly cancel your account, remove you, never call you again, and disappear, and then talk some smack about you behind your back to other people that probably weren't your friends to begin with. That's the friends that we're all losing, so just a heads up. I would rather have no friends and be righteous than have a bunch of friends that don't care and won't be there when it really matters. And ultimately, the only message that matters is one that moves humanity forward and makes the world a better place. So when the dust settles and when all of this shakes out, which I believe will be in the favor of the people, in favor of all of us, I do believe that all of these fence sitters will be remembered for what they decided not to do at a time of great importance for the world. Because if you can sit there and choose not to participate in it's not even political anymore. If you choose not to participate in the discussion of culture and society right now, while they are quite literally coming for the children, coming for the elderly, coming for the lower and middle class, the working class, coming for the military, the police officers, and all the people that do all the things that keep the world running, like the truck drivers, like the factory workers, like the first responders, like the nurses and the hospital workers, the frontline heroes. Everybody clang your pot. Everybody clang your pot for the frontline heroes. They got a free ticket to the Rangers game, but you better take this mysterious potion or you lose your life and your job. Also, shut your mouth. Stop telling us how to think about medicine. I know you're in medicine, but shut up, because some pig man that's the governor of some stupid state is going to tell you how to be healthy, even though you're a healthy, in-shape nurse in your 30s, and this person is an obese monster in his 60s, pig man with a rich family that bought his seat as the governor. But yeah, guys, everybody listen to the hefty man. Everybody listen to the hefty man in the paper diaper. Nobody listen to the frontline heroes. Clang your pots, guys. Clang your pots. Heroes, heroes. Thanks for your service. I'm going to hang a sign out in front of my house that says, thanks, first responders. Thanks for your service. Now take this mysterious potion in your brown eye or lose your career. Thanks for all your service. Thanks for being on the front line. I am a cowardly, weak, wet, soggy noodle. I have no spine, and you better take this potion or get the hell out of here. Thanks for your service. Clangety clang clang on the pot. Now obey and risk your life or scram, jabroni. We only want subservient drones. We only want sad boy NPC spineless weebles in here administering the medicines, the potions that we prescribe. Don't go get any sun. Don't do any yoga. Don't stretch. Don't eat any healthy food. Go and get your French fries and your hamburger from Bill de Blasio in New York City and shut your hole. And get in your tiny 300 square foot apartment, pay $5,000 for it, and when you walk outside, when you get to the street level, step on a pile of human shit and then get stabbed on the subway and shut the fuck up. You better shut your mouth. And don't you dare post about it online or you're going to get fired even faster than you would if you didn't take this mysterious potion. Yet despite this clear and obvious present danger, this obvious threat to the free people of the entire planet, these sad, loser, spineless dweebs will sit there and say they got a new special, they got a new movie, they got a new album, they got a new this. Cowards running businesses with thousands of people, being so cool while they force their staff to get the juice. I used to think that Mark Cuban was such an awesome guy. And there's so many things about Mark Cuban, that's great. Cost plus drugs, helping everybody. Good guy Mark Cuban. Good guy Mark Cuban forced his entire staff to get the mysterious potion or they're gone. Stay home and stay safe. Good job, Mark. Congratulations. You're the coolest shark there is. Losers. Sad boys. Just mindlessly, aimlessly wandering through life, collecting their good boy points as to not ruffle any feathers. Listen to Fauci. Listen to Fauci. You're sad. We are watching the entire world crumble right in front of our face, and the vast majority of people could care less. Sad, extremely dark. We're on the brink of a nuclear Armageddon, as came from our spineless, dweeb, sad boy president who can barely formulate a sentence. And the left and the young people that are so completely brainwashed and drones living inside a mainstream cult, serving up the narrative from all the big companies that have created all of this mayhem. They are so sad inside that they can't stop talking about Donnie. Donnie, bad orange man. Yet these literal sad boy basement boys, Mob the Meatloaf is ready, Twitter or TikTok trolls will literally sit there and say, you better not elect Dr. Oz, a literal doctor that's accumulated millions of dollars, who I don't maybe not even like that much, but you're going to say that John Fetterbean, a literal person that cannot understand the English language or speak, can't read or speak logically, a human person who is literally made of steel, who lives inside a steel plant, who is 53% steel, blue collar John, he has a hoodie on, he is relatable, he's in the mines with us, John is in the mines with us, he is a steel man, he's a blue collar steel man, never worked a day in his life. They want to vote for this dude to be a senator, one of the most elite persons on the literal planet that has more control than 99.99999% of any person that exists on the earth. And they want to have John Fetterbean, who doesn't even have the decency to put a collared shirt on to be on television. John Fetterbean, he's made of steel. They want to vote for Fetterbean because Dr. Oz said crudité. Cool, guys. Good luck with that. The day that this dude could potentially get into office, he couldn't even understand the words being said to him. Yet it's such a perfect analogy of how people on the left who live in a sad bubble of literal dark sadness actually view the world. They would rather a literal steel person that doesn't understand the English language, that can't read or speak, hold a position of power versus Dr. Oz because he's not relatable. These people are sad inside. Truly, truly sad. He's Fetterbean. He lives in a steel plant. He's like, I've never been in a mansion. Dr. Oz says Jersey and steelworkers. Fetterbean. Hoodie. I have a hoodie on. I have a hoodie. Dr. Oz. He has a mansion. Mansions. New Jersey. Fetterbean. I'm a steel man. I'm steel. I am made of steel. And they're like, vote for John. They're like, I love following these Democratic accounts. They're like, Fetterbean destroys Dr. Oz. And I'm like, nah, his brain stem got destroyed. Whatever. He's destroyed in the literal cranium. But yeah, guys, crudite. Good one, guys. Good luck, Philadelphia. Good luck, Pennsylvania. Good luck, Pittsburgh. Good luck, Pennsylvania. Because if you've got a Fetterbean at the helm, you're going off the cliff fast. So best of luck. The Eagles are the Eagles. So the Eagles, guys. The Eagles are better than the Eagles. Fetterbean. Literally elect a guy that can't speak. Let's elect a guy that can't talk or read or speak. Literally elect a guy that can't speak. He's like, blue collar. I'm a blue collar. The guy's not even saying anything. They're like, crudite. How sad is everybody? Sad and dark. He has a hoodie on. He is relatable. They're like, would you make money for yourself and purchase real estate? Unrelatable. Crudite. He's made of steel. Who hurt you? Donde está? Tu cabeza. Whom hurt you? Literally, where are the wrinkles in your literal brain? But whatever. Okay. Everything's done. Meanwhile, guys and gals, theys and them, zims and zers. Meanwhile, Alex Jones, like him or not, they have basically proved that free speech no longer exists. If you have an unpopular opinion, a civil court awarded the victims of Sandy Hook $1 billion from Alex Jones. And look, like, I think it goes without saying, but if you think that Alex Jones has $1 billion, you're off your rocker, Jim. So that's hilarious. $1 billion. So to put that into perspective, I saw a meme today that talked about how like the large fine for like who perpetrated the opioid crisis was like $600 million or $500 something million. So Alex Jones, for saying things, whether you think they're bad or not, a fine of $1 billion. First of all, how'd you come up with that number? 2, none of that number is ever going to be paid. And 3, this is a threat to everybody. But since nobody cares and nobody pays attention and nobody understands what this actually means, it means that you can be fined in civil court for saying something that people don't like. That's what it means. That is what it means. Because people say incorrect things all the time on television. For Christmas' sake, Fauci and the Center for Garbage Control said the wrong thing and admitted to as much, and there was no fine to them. They got paid, including Fauci, got paid the highest salary of any government employee. And Alex Jones gets fined $1 billion. Yet despite this clear and obvious egregious overstepping of the freedom of speech in America, I could not tell you how many hundreds of DMs I got from people that are like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? Can you explain this to me? And it's like, dude, no. Because it just goes to show that there's nothing left to do, in terms of all this stuff but laugh. Because if people don't start paying attention, if people don't care enough to pay attention, I'm going to see if I can get back on the live on TixNap. Probably not, though. Yeah, live access is suspended. You can go live October 16th. I got suspended for 3 days for literally nothing, but okay, guys. Cool. That's cool. Okay. But yeah, what it basically means is there's no free speech left in America. It means that you can get fined an arbitrary amount of money completely out of nowhere based on basically no reason at all, because some people got some mean calls and some mean voicemails or whatever else, whatever other stuff they experienced. It doesn't matter, because it's an arbitrary number that came straight out of nowhere. And it's a sad day for the people of America. And even if you don't like Jones, you should be able to understand that first it's him and then it's you. But whatever, who cares? Nobody can understand anything. So sometimes it's like, sometimes you look at what's happening in your country. And like I said, like when I went to the autonomous free state of Fenty Beauty, I was like, this is a major American city. And they're just letting the people run amok. And it's just sad. It's hard to not be overwhelmed with frustration and sadness the closer that you get to this stuff, because it's just so dark. Because it's like everybody in the world is wearing, is looking through foggy glasses, and you have binoculars, and you can look a mile ahead and you're like, would you look at that? It's so clear. It's like the British are coming, and they're like, misinformation. This post has been flagged for misinformation. And it's like, if any of these social media platforms existed 200 years ago, there would be no America. Paul Revere would have sent out a push notification. He'd be on IG Live, or he'd be on TikTok Live, or, whatever they called it back then, Horseback Live. And he would have been like, yo, here's a video of the British coming. And they'd be like, missing context. Can't prove they're British. Might just be Americans in red coats. And then everybody would get clapped, and they'd be like, oop, and no one would be held accountable, because that's the world that we're living in, and everyone's dumb. So good job, everybody. We're doing great. I'll tell you what, if I lived anywhere near that autonomous state of G. Floyd, I would be pretty upset. If I donated to the Buy Large Mansions organization, I would be pretty upset. Because the fact that this mainstream organization got millions upon millions of dollars from American corporations and innocent taxpayers and citizens like you and me, not me, I didn't donate to them because I'm not clueless. Like I said, they bought over $30 million of stocks. So much for fighting oppression and the bad, evil man, the bad, white, evil man. They're fighting oppression by buying U.S. stocks, $30 million U.S. stocks. That didn't help anybody. If you look at this area where George lived, no money went there. Absolutely no money went there. If you watch the documentary by Candace, she shows that his roommates didn't get paid any of their rent. His car was abandoned in their driveway. They didn't get any money. His family didn't get any money. And all the people that supposedly that were his family members, they supposedly didn't even have relationships with him, yet they're on CNN being paraded around. I miss him, trying to collect their 15 minutes of fame in their cash. And then you have these people like Patrice Cullors, the founder of Buy Large Mansions, living in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, multi-million-dollar mansion, being paid for by this organization with a fence out front, and a gate. And it's just sad, because you can't trust anybody anymore. You can't even trust the people that are purportedly there to save you and your people and your community. It's trash. And they donated to all these organizations that are pushing this gendy stuff on the kids and on so many other ways. And it's dark. It's dark. I would highly recommend that everybody goes and watches this documentary. But man, is it dark. It's sad. And the thing that's so funny about it is, like, it's yet another example along a huge list of other examples of how corrupt the world is, of how corrupt and complicit the mainstream media is, that they got all these high-level press hits. They got all the attention in the world. And she spoke at all these conferences and flew in private jets and made millions and millions of dollars. Paid out her baby father nearly $900,000 for video event services or something. Paid her brother, who was a graffiti artist, nearly $1 million in calendar year 2021 for security, of which he had no experience. paid off her friends millions of dollars for nothing, donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to a number of organizations who have yet to file any taxes or claim where the money went. And the 80,000 tax IRS agents that are going to be there to supposedly crack down on you and I are never going to look into this. The wolves are running the hen house. And like I said, it's so difficult to not be discouraged by how dark it is. And like I said in my post today, which was out of pure frustration with how cowardly and spineless all of these people are that don't say anything, that have the voices and have the reach. If they were to just not be such cowards, the message would go around. Look at what that tennis player did. Look at what Kyrie Irving did. Look at these people that stood up. There are so few of them. So few musical artists, with the exception of my friend Tommy Vext, for example, and some others, but not many. Basically no actors at all. Very few comedians. Very few. Certainly not the biggest ones. You know, Kevin Hart wouldn't want to jeopardize his relationship with Capital One, would he? Of course not. But could you imagine if a person with that level of influence was to actually say something that really mattered? How quickly the world would change. How quickly their perceptions would change. But instead, they choose to secure the bag. Not caring about the little guy any more than they are able to sell them a ticket to one of their shows. That's all they care about. And you have people like LeBron James, for example, who I'm no fan of. And they're out here to support their community, right? Support their community. Yet you see LeBron James doing commercials for Sprite, McDonald's, unhealthy foods. They're quick to take money from Doritos, to sell Doritos to young, impressionable kids, to sell Sprite to young, impressionable kids. Could you imagine how many people's lives would be changed if somebody like LeBron James would say, you probably shouldn't drink Sprite, especially if you're a kid. How bad Sprite is. And soft drinks in general. But we live in this money-driven machine of just pure evil and darkness. And in the pursuit of the bag, even perhaps temporarily well-meaning people get corrupted and sell out. They'll sell out their fans. They'll push a product that they don't even use, that they would never touch themselves. They'll tell young, impressionable kids to go eat a Subway sandwich or drink a Coke or go eat Doritos. And then they'll collect their good boy points, making some random donation, and make sure that there's a photo op of them reading a book by Malcolm X, where if they actually read a book by Malcolm X, they would never do 99% of the things that they actually do. But okay. Because, and this is why we live in this society right now where people like Ian Smith have people swarming him. People like Tommy Vext. People like Andy Frisella have people swarming them. Because people are so hungry for the truth. People are so hungry for leaders to actually say things that actually matter. That the status of the supposed celebrity, I believe, will be a thing of the past. Because it's people like Andy, people like Ian, and people like Tommy, and people like Ian Went, and so many other people that have stood up and spoken out that are the real heroes. People like Jimmy Levy, people that actually say what's actually happening and risk their careers and the temporary short-term payday for the good of the world. And that's why people respect people like them so much. And I feel bad for all of these people that are living in the world completely clueless as to what's going on. Because as I walk down the street in Minneapolis, as well as in Chicago, where I was the week before, I see children in N95s outside. I see people afraid of the air, walking outside. People in diapers that objectively have very little impact on anything, lining up to get the juice, willingly electing people like J.B. Pritzker, like Justin Trudeau, like Gretchen Whitmer, like Ocasio, like Eric, so cool. Eric's cool as hell. New York, so cool. We got a brand. Poop in your face on the subway. New York, Eric, so cool. Cool as heck. I'm at the Met Gala, so cool. Eric's cool as heck. Cool as a cucumber. Eric, cool side of the pillow. And they vote for these people. And not only do they vote for them, they step over hypodermic needles and piles of poop on the street. And they walk down the street and smell urine like I smell in Minneapolis on so many corners. And you got bumblebee tunas at every corner. And they don't even care. They don't even pay attention. I went to a Target in downtown Minneapolis, which was a place that got looted like crazy when Saint GF was happening in Minneapolis. And I went to this Target. This is a downtown building in the dead center of Minneapolis. I've been to Minneapolis a couple times. It's my third time being there. And it has the potential to be a beautiful city. A really nice road that's not open to cars right down the middle there, in the middle of the city with a public transit, nice bus, train thing, whatever. Beautiful city, nice old architecture, a lot of history, nice restaurants, good food, and the people are clueless. And I go to this Target right in the middle of the city as a visitor. I stayed at a downtown hotel. I go to this Target, and there are 2 armed security guards, one on each floor, with a pistol. Actually, more than 2. I think there were 3 armed security guards in a Target. There was an $8 bottle of laundry detergent. Like a big bottle of laundry detergent, like the size of a basketball. Cheap laundry detergent. It was $8.38. This $8.38 jug of laundry detergent was locked to the shelf it was on with a steel cable, like a bike lock. Even the cheapest bike you'll ever find is $100. This was an $8 jug of laundry detergent in the middle of a major American city with three armed security guards with bulletproof vests on. 3 armed security guards with bulletproof vests on. And there was a steel cable protecting an $8 bottle of laundry detergent. How sad is that? What a garbage world. Yet, as you walk down the street in Minneapolis, I can't help but see so many troubled and confused people. It's like that one table when you were in high school. You know the table I'm talking about. Where it was like, why do they dress like that? Look, you could dress however you want. But it's like, sometimes it's just like, I think that there's a bigger problem there. I think that there's a rebelliousness, a sadness, whatever it is that's causing them to say, this is how I'm going to express myself, and that's it. It's anarchy. right? And I saw so many people confused with who they were. Colors and the tips of their hair, socially awkward, out of shape more often than not, with a diaper on, and just looking dejected and sad. And I was like, dude, the world is just troubled, man. And it's like, it's almost like every major institution has just collectively agreed that the destruction of society in pursuit of profits and forwarding the agenda is totally fine so long as I'm taking care of mine. So long as I'm securing the bag for myself, who cares? Because it's like they have everything. They have all the social media. They have all the actors, all the tastemakers, all the people at the top bought and paid for, all the corporations, all the establishment politicos, and even ones on the right, sadly. They have all the television shows, daytime, nighttime, all the magazines, the book publishing houses. They have major institutions in every major city, all the population centers. They have the courts, the newspapers, the fact checkers, the young, impressionable celebrities that are willing to trade anything to be famous and rich. They have the mentally ill. They have the mentally weak and dejected. They have all those people in their stable. And they're telling them that they can take hormones and change nature, that it's reversible, which it's sure. And then they're allowing people to mutilate themselves. Look, if you're an adult and that's what you want to do, fine. But how they could come for the kids and people are like, I'm not going to get involved. I'm just going to sell tickets to my special. I'm just going to make another movie. You know, who cares? I'm just going to get this TV show. I don't want to speak out. At first, with these big mainstream celebrities, I was like, I kind of get it. They're like, oh, I'll lose my career. You got $10 million, you coward. It's sad. And there was a few people at the very beginning of this account that I talked to in the DM that I was like, wow, I didn't know this person aligned this way. And I was like, I get it. They're in Hollywood or they're wherever, they can't say anything. Now, shame on you. It's sad, man. Because, it's like all troubling times in human history have had people step up that have done great things, that have oftentimes gotten no recognition, even until after they were gone, in many cases. And they fought for what was right, and they were right. But society never recognized it until it was too late. And that's what we're in. Except the risk is just so high. It's like, I forget which one it was. There was a guy, there was some movie that I saw, I forget who it is, but there was a guy, person of color in the Olympics, and they wouldn't let him participate or whatever in the Olympics unless he did such and such. And he was like, no. And he ended up losing his Olympic career or whatever it was. And he finally got recognized for what he did after he had died. And it's like, great. So it's like, it's sad that, through all this stuff, that it's the little guy that has to do the hard work. And I was thinking about it today and I'm like, okay, I've accumulated, almost 300,000 followers between here and TikTok. And TikTok is saying that they're going to delete my account. And, as it gets closer to the midterms and ultimately the next election, it's like at any moment, all the work that me and all these other creators have put in can just be like that. And for a lot of us, it's like most people don't even understand how much time it takes to create all this content. They think it's like all sunshine and rainbows, but it's like not when they're removing your followers, not when they're suppressing your content, not when they're constantly flagging you, demonetizing you, not giving circulation to your stuff, not allowing it to be shown, not allowing you to be tagged, putting a flag on your payment account and not responding to support tickets, things like that. People don't understand how difficult that is. And it's like the very slight amount that you can scrape by can just be taken away at any moment. It's like how hard I work to get 100,000 people to follow me on TikTok. It's like I could take that account and I could never post anything political again, and I could just make comedy skits and my account probably wouldn't get removed. But it's like, that's what it's come to? A shakedown like that? That's the decision that like somebody like me has to make? It's like this content reaches a lot of people, but not nearly as much as the main creators get. Yet what do? Drop a new album. Do a new show. Get another hit on daytime TV. Riding on Easy Street. Just bending the knee. Just taking it in the dirt star so that they can get theirs. Such an easy decision. The easy way out. The cowardly way out, unfortunately. And it's not to say that there's not a lot of people that have stood up and done the right thing, like I said. But it is pretty discouraging and sad how if you were to look at the top 500 creators, let's just say on Instagram or YouTube, how many of them have said anything about this stuff that matters? And even the ones that seem to do so much good, right? That seem to be the ones that are like the untouchables. And I don't want to call any of them out, but it's like you can just infer. But it's like, think about somebody like Mr. Beast, for example. Mr. Beast is like the largest creator on the internet in the entire world, really. The most influential individual citizen that exists in the world. It's like, could you imagine if somebody like Mr. Beast was to say something like this? First of all, imagine how much money he would lose, which is the first default that most people think of. But imagine how many people he could impact. All these sports players, all these athletes, all the actors, the creators, the movie makers. What if there was actually pro-America, pro-freedom content at the movie theater? What if the movies that came out were like that? What if the only movie that you saw that wasn't woke wasn't only on the Daily Wire? And how much time it's going to take for other creative houses to generate the financing and distribution in order to reach that level. And all the people that are at the top of the food chain that have hundreds of millions of dollars that just don't say anything about it. That don't care. And we all look up to them because they're successful, right? They've done it. They have all these companies. Yet they could influence more people in one day than many of us could influence in 1,000 days. And they choose to do nothing. They just secure the bag for themselves. They don't talk about Buy Large Mansions organization. They don't talk about the hormones, the blockers. They don't talk about these hospitals. It's tragic. But whatever. But what I think we can learn from all this is that this is part of the psychological game. The psychological game is convince you that your efforts are meaningless, convince you that you can't do anything, convince you that the ship cannot be turned around, convince you that destruction is imminent and you have no choice. And meanwhile, while all this bad stuff is happening, you have literally a hot war going on with a nuclear power where these old losers are threatening to blow each other up and refusing to negotiate. And who's going to suffer? The people, the citizens of the Ukraine, the citizens of Russia, the citizens of the world at large. The people in Europe that are not going to be able to have access to food and energy and oil and heat this winter, and the people in the United States of America that are not going to be able to afford to heat their house are in for a world of hurt. And the stock market is getting destroyed, and all of this stuff is happening. And you have members of Congress like Tommy Tuberville making multi-million-dollar transactions based on the insider information that he has about his committees. These politicians are the most corrupt, disgusting people of them all, because they're pretending to be working for the people, but they're working for themselves instead. That's people on the right and people on the left just the same, because the right is just the left going the speed limit. And the fact that more people can't understand that smaller government with less power and more power to the individual is the only solution here just blows my mind. People can't get out of their own way. I don't understand how you could wake up in the morning and put a blue paper porous diaper on the face of your child outside and not even think about it. How you could not even look it up. How you could not even for a second look the information up for yourself is disgusting. It's like you're the saddest, most weak among us. It's one thing if you want to do it yourself, but man, the kids, it's like, it is so dark. And all these hospitals making money off it. And these pharmaceutical companies selling, oh my God, selling these pills. Just take the pills. Prozac, antidepressants, opioids, absolutely super powered pain pills for not crazy pain. Shutting down churches during the clam dem where AA meetings were held and rehab meetings were held. And all those people that suffered. And all the people that are getting clapped by the fentanyl. And all the people that are getting trafficked at the border. And all the bad stuff that's happening. And a hot war with a nuclear power. President t-shirt. He's got a t-shirt on, guys. He's got a t-shirt. He's relatable. Flag in bio. Flag in bio. So relatable. Prez green t-shirt. Prez green t-shirt. Prez cargo pant. Prez comfy sneaks at work. Prez comfy sneaks. His wife is relatable. She's in front of a tank. She's in front of a tank in a blown out building. She is relatable. She is relatable. Cover of Vogue. Cover of Vogue. He's on the front line, guys. He's wearing a t-shirt. Everybody back up and Venmo Zelensky because he has a t-shirt on, guys. He's better than you. He's Derek Zoolander's hero. And you have these dweebs overseas, literally with the world destruction imminent, and they're not even negotiating. And despite all of this, nobody even has the spine to even say something. What a sad time. And then you just have people getting injured by the Jews, losing their life with no recourse, and nobody cares. You got all the mainstream TV stations lying every single day, and all these anchors like Don Lime, all of them complicit, just pushing the lie, pushing the narrative, not caring. Oh, this riot is fiery, but mostly peaceful. It's like, who hurt you, man? And then you have demons just like running amok, like Mussolini, selling the lie to people about this gender pay gap. Oh, in California, we changed the rule about the gender pay gap. This is a myth. And what will happen as a result of this increasingly high red tape and ever-growing red tape is it will make employers in California choose not to hire a woman. Because what the government does, the opposite happens. What the government says will happen, the opposite happens. The easiest person to hire in the state of California is a white man. And here's why. Because if you hire a woman now in the state of California with this new rule, well, if let's say she's 28 and she's in a relationship with her fiance. Let's say she's married. She's been married for 2 years. She's 28. And you hire her for a position at $125,000 a year. And then there's a guy right next to her for $125,000 a year. Same age. Will he leave for maternity leave? Nope. But she could. You have to factor that in to how much time. Will she work the extra hours to pursue an executive level position? Is she in it to win it? To be an executive? Does she want to be at the top? Does she want to work 12 hours a day? Maybe she does, but maybe she doesn't. Men in this world work like dogs. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, they do. They do the most physically demanding jobs. They die the most. They commit suicide the most. Men have built the majority of the world as we know it. Not that women don't have their place. I have so much respect and love for them and what they do, but they're not in the sewers. They're not in the coal mines. They're not dying on the battlefield to anywhere near the extent. And they have a different role in society. So to compare them as if it's apples to apples is nothing short of just wrong. And it's like you got 4 candidates for a job. Let's say 4. They're 5. Let's say 5. You got a white man. You got a white woman. You got a black woman. And you got a T or a lesbian, let's just say. Of all those people, if you fire that person for a justifiable reason in a woke place like California, well, the woman could sue now because of discrimination. You discriminated the gender pay gap. I didn't get paid the same amount as the guy that worked 10 hours a day, that worked on the weekends, that put in all the extra time. I could sue you. I'm a liability. The black guy, the black woman, they could sue for the gender pay gap. And, oh, you're a racist. You fired me because I'm black. And the litigation that would need to happen and the amount of money that it would cost to fight that discrimination in court, you'd be better just paying it off. So it'll cost you 100 racks to pay it off. Who knows what it'll cost? If you decide to fight it, you could be in litigation for years. Could cost you more than it would cost to just pay him off. If you don't fight it, bad press. Oh, this company is racists. Bunch of racists. It's a liability. You got a T. The T says, you fired me because I'm a T. Nope. Fired you because you showed up late. Fired you because you're not doing the job well. Fired you because you're not executing at the level that we need at this corporation. Sued. It's because I'm a T. It's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm a lesbian. It's because of whatever. All they're doing with all these rules is making it less likely for them to get hired because they're creating more of a potential financial liability in the event that they sue them for discrimination. I don't make the rules. It's just the facts. So they're making it more likely that the person that you have to hire is a heterosexual white male. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, but people don't understand how politics and policies affect real outcomes. People can't see past the shiny box that a lie gets served to them in. They think it's right and just, and they collect their good boy points, and they end up making it worse. Good job, guys. And because people are so spineless and so weak of mind and so not independent in their thought, they think that the minimum wage should be $1,000. They think that Joe just had a stutter. Joe Byron was in politics for over 40 years. They said that he had a stutter when he was a kid. There are 40 years of Joe Byron giving speeches. 40 years. Giving speeches, presentations, speeches on the floor of the House. He was the vice president. Never stuttered once. Not a single evidence of any stuttering ever. Yet you have this guy in office in his late 70s with clear dementia, clearly suffering mentally. And they say, you can't make fun of Joe Byron because he has a stutter as a kid. When for 40 years, his stutter mysteriously disappeared. I guess a stutter makes you fall upstairs. I guess a stutter makes you unable to formulate a sentence. I guess a stutter makes you embarrassing to the entire planet simultaneously. Because nobody would care if he actually had a stutter. We would be like, okay, cool, he has a stutter, doesn't matter. But instead, he is a senile, mentally unfit old man that is doing absolutely nothing but regurgitating lines that are being fed to him. And nobody cares. And they're like, yeah, vote for Joe again. Vote for Ocasio. Vote for Rashida Tlaib. Vote for Cori Bush. People are in an abusive relationship with supposed leaders that they can't even recognize when their abuser punches them in the face. Very sad. Very dark. And then again, it's like, you want to elect Fetterbean. This guy can't even understand a sentence unless it's regurgitated to him into a computer. And they're like, oh, you're making fun of his disability. Nah, dude, it's a job interview. That's like asking somebody to be a lifeguard that can't swim. Oh, you're discrimination. It's like, nah, I just don't want people to drown. But nobody cares. And nobody will say anything about it. And these people on television, these supposed journalists, again, we're in this reality of spineless people that care nothing about anything but themselves. All they care about is enriching themselves. All they care about is the bag. So, cool. That seems good. And then you have people like Krusty, Kamala Krust, the bravest VP of all time, being like, going on the nighttime talk shows with Stephen Colbert, who is a spineless, narrative-pushing sellout. She's like, nobody should go to jail for weed. She was the DA in California and probably single-handedly was responsible for more people going to prison for marijuana than any person living on the earth today. And she's like, no one should be in there. It's like, but people are so dumb and so clueless that they can't even see it when it's right in their face. They can't see that By Large Mansions organization just robbed them blind. They can't see what a woman is. They can't see the difference between output based on gender. They can't see that a female bodybuilder doesn't have a chance against a male swimmer, biker, wrestler, boxer, anything. It's like, if we can't even see eye to eye on the most basic, obvious, and objective truths, what do we like? I'm on a kickball team here in town, a recreational kickball team. And most people just drink, right? I don't like drinking there. It's a Wednesday, so I don't really drink, but a bunch of people drink and everybody's having a good time. It's a co-ed kickball team. It's like $80 for the season. We wear a shirt. Everybody goes to the bar after. That's the end of it. The other day we had a game and we were up against this other team and there weren't enough girls there on their team. And you need to have 4 girls at any given time. Otherwise, they take you, like, you lose an out or whatever. There's something against you. And I was like, wait a second. This team doesn't have enough girls. They only have 3 girls instead of 4. And we have 7 or whatever it is. And the girls have to play on the field. There has to be like 4 girls on the field at the same time or whatever. And since they didn't have 4, it would have been guys there or no one there, right? And I was like, just the thought of this team having an unfair advantage because they didn't have as many girls on the field, and instead they had all these athletic guys, frustrated me. And I was like, no. And then luckily the girl came, and it ended up being fair and even. It was fine. But just the thought of it and us losing from something that was so clearly and obviously like not even was like, oh man, what the heck? Like, we could have made it to the championship, whatever. I got no dog in the fight. I got no championship to win, no scholarship, no monies to be earned. Yet I was like, oh man, that would suck. But you have these women, female athletes that are in high school, college, competing for the Olympics, competing for scholarships, competing for opportunities, competing for sponsorships, competing to speak at women's events, that are getting robbed by people that are setting world records. And it's like all the men out there, nobody cares about what's happening to these girls. It's like we have all these supposed men and nobody cares. It's like, wow, pretty dark, dude. So, anyways, I find myself very discouraged by the fact that so many people are clueless as to what's going on. So little people are participating in the conversation. So many people actually know what's going on and don't speak out about it at a high level. I think that the people at the bottom, the smaller middle class, the lower middle class people, and all of the people with the most to lose are the ones that are speaking out and doing the best. And I'm just so, I guess, like, upset with all these top tier people that have millions of dollars and all of the freedoms and all of the everything that just don't say anything about it. It's sad. It makes you not want to support them at all. Makes you only want to support people that are down for the cause. But yeah. Okay, I guess. So anyhow, I want to take some questions. I see people arguing in the comments. People are sad. It's really sad. But I want to read the comments and start taking some questions. If you guys got any questions, hit the arrow right here if you don't already follow me. If you're on Instagram, obviously we got no TikTok because they banned me from going live, which is awesome. I literally bought another phone so I could go live on TikTok simultaneously, but whatever. I'll figure it out. Obviously they suck, so... but I'm going to start reading some comments and engaging with you guys and see what you guys have to say. If anybody has any questions, shoot. Before I start it, I want to say thank you to the people that bought the badges. I really appreciate that. I'm sorry I didn't thank anybody yet. Redhead Bex, Debbie McGarren, Maria Fataruso, Mark Photos, Leo's the Lion, YDB7979, Dawn Marine, S Ford128, Ronald F. Melton, FL Florimore, Lana Liberty, Jiminy's Juper, American Cat, MJ Torkel. Thank you guys so much for the badges. on Instagram. I really, really appreciate the support. And thanks to anybody that's been buying merch on bobbysauce.com. I very, very much appreciate it. And if anybody sent a Venmo or a Cash App, I haven't checked yet. But if anybody did that, thank you for that in advance. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Julia Tremblay, for the badge. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lauren Sums. Appreciate that. And if I get clapped on TikTok this week, I'll let you know on Instagram, and I guess I'll make another account. Thank you, Krusty Tourley, for the badge. Appreciate that. I see Sarah in the comments on Instagram. Somebody's going back and forth with Sarah. I don't understand what's happening here, but everybody seems to be getting kind of hostile. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but let's try to remember we're on the same team here, unless somebody's trolling. I don't really know, but Luna Mathis said on Facebook, appreciate the show. I'm going to go buy myself a shirt. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Go to bobbysauce.com. My monitor is on fire. Yes, it is. MJ Torkel, if you come to LA, I've mentioned this, you'll get a personal tour by the LAPD. That's what's up. Yeah. How do I do that? Thank you, the Maker's Not. Appreciate that. Somebody says, do you have any, Ray on Instagram said, do you have any stories where you've educated and brought people to the Patriot side? Need to hear these. Well, it's hard to say for sure. I would like to say so, yes, but I don't think that it happens like that. I don't think that you start talking to people about stuff that matters. I don't think that you start communicating with people the truth and they just go, okay, I'm going to come over there. But I think that a lot of the real work is done in the after. I think that a lot of the work is done in changing somebody's mind where they won't tell you or won't give you credit for it. I think that the people that really have their minds changed are oftentimes going to do so in silence. I've gone to places so many times where I've recognized a person, but I haven't gone and said something to them where I'm like, yo, that person's awesome. And I think that people are like that the vast majority of the time. If they've been influenced by you, they won't necessarily be like, yo, you brought me over to the right side. But I think that it's not about the confirmation of the conversion that matters. Thank you, Brian, for the badge. Appreciate that. It's just knowing that that's what you got to do in order for it to be right. And I think that more people have been converted by the comments and the actions of people that are in this chat and in this, in these feeds right now and in the comments, than I think any of us will ever know. So I don't have a specific story where I could say, hey, I told this person and they came over. I think that people need to learn over time. I think that in order to come over to the side of what is the actual truth, what's really going on, I think you have to kind of learn it the hard way. Everybody starts as a Democrat. Everybody starts on the left because it sounds good. Be nice, be friendly, beep, boop, free check, free college, free everything. Everybody's a person. Everybody's free. Everybody gets a handout. Thank you, MJ Torkel, for the badge. Appreciate it. So everybody starts there. They start there and they think that that's the altruistic side. I care about the T's and the marginalized, and I care about this and that, and I'm putting together and collecting my good boy points. And everybody sees they got Billie Eilish agrees with them, and Olivia Rodrigo agrees with them, and Madonna agrees with them, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson agrees with them, and everybody agrees. And they're like, collect my good boy points, collect my good boy points, and that's all they do. And that's all they do. That's all they pay attention. Why would you want to pay attention to this? You wouldn't. And most people choose not to. But some people realize that when nobody wants to lead, you have to lead. That's what it is. Anybody that's joined a sports team, I think sports is such a great lesson for life. Anybody ever join a sports team that doesn't have a leader, doesn't have a captain, doesn't have a person running the show? It's like if there is no captain, the captain is you. But so many people don't think that way. They just want to be told what to do. They just want to follow. And we live in a world where you're taught how to be a good, subservient follower. You're taught that the path to success is by following along. Thank you, Ryan Hanna, for the Venmo. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So you're taught to be subservient. You're taught to be an employee. You're taught to be a drone. And because of this simple fact, that's why everything is so easy for them to pump down everybody's throats. Literally, figuratively. So that's why so many people are begging for leadership and the right encouraging message. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all bad and it's all going to hell. But I will say that it's like, if people don't pay attention and engage, we're so screwed. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that comment. And it's discouraging. I'm not going to lie. It's discouraging because you go around and you're like, wow, people are so lost. It's like you want to help all of them. And, you know, when I was in Minneapolis, I was just like, this is so many of these people are lost. There's so many people that are lost. Thank you, Britt Seawolf, for the badge. Appreciate it. So many people are lost. And just the simple fact that people are getting antidepressants, just the fact that people are being administered antidepressants, to me, is just one of a countless list of tragedies being put on the people. This pharmaceutical state is so bad. It's so dark. And it's like they're laughing in your face. And that's the thing that kills me, is like when you watch this interview with Steel Fetterbean yesterday, I think it was on MSNBC. It's like, this guy, this is not like conjecture. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. This dude objectively doesn't understand sentences. They want to elect a guy to the Senate that can't hold a conversation. Think about that. They want to elect a guy for a 6-year term that cannot hold a basic conversation, that can't communicate clearly, that can't communicate what his thoughts are. They want to elect this guy over Dr. Oz because they hate the other guy so bad. He's very bad. He's very Oz. He did this and he did that. They want to elect a guy. They overwhelmingly voted for this dude in the primary, and he can't speak. This dude has done nothing his entire life. He has produced nothing his entire life. And they want to elect this dude. It's like, what is wrong with you? It's so insane. So insane. The guy can't understand words. And then in Arizona, the woman running for governor of Arizona is refusing to debate the other candidate. If you are going to go and vote in an election in Arizona and you vote for Katie Hobbs, you are the saddest person that I know. Unbelievable. She won't even debate her. That is such disrespect to the people of that state. Such disrespect. And these people are so blinded, so emotionally manipulated by the system that they don't even see the problem in that. They can't even understand the problem that they won't even debate with the other candidate. It's like, dude, who hurt you? So it's like, that's who we're up against here. That's what the world has come down to. They won't debate. They can't speak. And then all of these dweebs All of these 18-year-old, clueless, completely unaware dweebs are online posting, garbage posting about Donnie baseball until the cows come home. They can't get Donnie's name out their mouth. Donnie, Donnie, Donnie. The guy lives in their head. And they don't even have the spine to acknowledge that John Fetterman is not capable of carrying this job. I wouldn't trust John Fetterman to run a coffee shop. This dude is mentally incapacitated. And they're like, vote for him because he votes blue. You're sick in the head. Sick in the head. And they love being like, it's a cult, culty cult, cult. And these demons. And these race baiters like Joy Reid and Jamel Hill. And the most lying, savage, self-interested person I think in American life is Ben Crump. This guy should be ashamed of himself. One of the most deplorable persons in public life. Absolutely disgusting. This guy should be ashamed of himself. But he's not, because he's secured the bag. Because he's got his Porsche and his mansion. Because he doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about anything but himself and enriching himself. And he's the big civil rights leader. The guy is a steward of the darkness. It's sad. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to end it there. I want to come back hopefully tomorrow and chat some more. This one was too long of a separation. Please go to bobbysauceshow.com after the show and leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to the show. If you're on Instagram, you don't already follow me, click the arrow right here. Make sure that you follow me. Thank you so much to everybody that's been buying the badges. Thank you for the Venmo. Really appreciate it. Thanks to anybody that goes to bobbysauce.com and supports the channel by grabbing a shirt or a hoodie or a hat or leggings or whatever. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Please share my videos if you wouldn't mind. Comment, like, tell other people to subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much for paying attention and for listening. I have so much fun doing this. And I am so thankful that I have an audience that listens when I do these things. It's something that I never would have imagined 5 years ago, and I'm so thankful that that you guys pay attention and that you fight for the country and for people. So thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Thank you for being here.